say, look, if you're a loan officer and you're not continuing to keep learning, you are missing out. Like the missing ingredient is continuing to learn. And that's why I love doing coaching with Chris. That's why I love bringing on special guests. And look, I don't even know where we're going to go today, but that's probably my favorite part. Woke up, I'm super excited because if I get to hang out with great, amazing people, continue to learn, and then at the same time have great conversations, it's like day is complete. I have done the day. And so listen, let me tell you about our next guest. I know she's been on here a couple times, but she's doing a lot of changes. Like I just came back from speaking at her event. I just loved it. Came back with 8 pages. My favorite line was like, borrow it. And we were talking about borrowing beliefs, and she went through this whole piece, and I'm like, borrow it. And there are days like last week where I needed to borrow some, and I borrowed it and put me back on track. That is this person. Shayla Gifford has changed hundreds of loan officers' lives, maybe even thousands of people. And so please pay attention, take great notes. And at the end, I'm going to invite you to a very special event that she's going to be doing here coming up. So Shayla, let's borrow some.
I think what you're referring to is that the reason we get in the room, the reason we listen to successful people is because they might have a belief about what's possible that we don't have yet. And so all we need to do is borrow the belief. I remember hearing that first you have to see it to then believe it to then achieve it. And I don't know about you, Chris, but for me, when I see something with my own eyes, first of all, I can't unsee it, right? Like now you know. When you don't know, ignorance is bliss. And there's all these excuses that we can have, like, it's just the way it is. This is just the market. You don't understand my town. Being a loan officer has to be this way. Like there's all this story that we could put out there. But once you see something different with your own eyes, you find somebody who has what you want. Now it's impossible to come up with those excuses because you've seen it. You've seen what's possible. And now you can start believing if it's possible for them, then it could be possible for me. And so I think that's the value of getting out in the world as much as we can and getting into rooms where people are thinking differently and they're evolving and they're growing in whatever sense. You know, I think this is why people go to church as well. They want to be in community with people who are getting connected to God and are taking time for that because you want to seek people who are maybe a little further along in the journey or who have the belief today. So anyway, that's where that came from at the very beginning of the room is like, if people here are doing or being or having or experiencing something that you want, don't believe it's just them. Believe that if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. You know, I feel like I love the statement that you can't unsee it. I think that sometimes I never like said it like that, but I'm like, oh, I saw that. I want that, or I want to implement that, or I want to know how did you do that? And then curiosity comes into play. And when curiosity comes into play and I hear someone or I see someone and I'm like, well, they did it. If they can do it, I can do it. And then
Yep.
that's like that journey that starts for me that then gets me to implement. The key to an LO evolving is never get in this. I see so many LOs that like they know it all. And I'm like, how could you think that way? Like, that's the worst thing that could ever happen. Like, why? I just love it. Like, I don't know it all. And I'm like, what do you know that I need to know today? And if I can get into those rooms, great things happen. And I've watched you. Like, I listened to you or I at somewhere and you're like, wait, I have a question. And I just know I'm like, oh, she's curious. And this is how that little part that starts, which then you go implement, which then it makes a difference. Like Were you always that way?
I was just reading Brene Brown's book, Atlas of the Heart. And of course, Shayla's going to go ooey gooey emotions. Chris is always
I
like,
know.
why do we go there, Shayla? But so this book is really interesting. Obviously, Brene Brown is wildly famous. She came out with a TED Talk talking about shame and vulnerability, which were and are topics that most people do not understand and don't want to go there. And so she wrote a book because what they did after surveying hundreds of thousands of people, they said, name as many emotions as you can name. And the average person had 3: mad, sad, happy. That was it. But there's like thousands of emotions that we all experience as human beings. That's what makes us human. And so she actually breaks down what these emotions mean and why we feel them and where they come from. And I was just reading the book around being interested and curiosity, and that they're one in this, they're partners together. Like, we aren't curious about something unless we first are interested. And that opened my mind big time, because I have zero interest in politics. I have zero interest in world affairs. I have zero interest in drama and gossip. I don't know why. I have zero interest in, growing up and people were doing dangerous things. Like, I don't know why, just never wanted, I was like baby goody two shoes, but I was like, I've never touched a cigarette. I've had zero interest, which meant I had zero curiosity, because interest has to start first. So I think one question, if you're listening to this, is to start asking yourself, what am I interested in and why? Yeah. Because then that drives a curiosity. And then beyond that, I think it's a worthiness thing to be able to say, I'm here and I paid to be here and I want to be here. And my question is not a stupid question. I'm okay to sound stupid. Or, I was in a room, I'm part of this mastermind called Be Wealthy with Brett Tanner, and he's a really high level investor. Like, he just bought a golf course with 100 units, and he's my private coach right now. And he's teaching how to underwrite commercial deals. And I was in the room. Okay, I'm probably the most successful person in the room on paper in terms of the wealth creation I've created. I lead a massive organization, blah, blah, blah. And I'm in finance. I'm probably one of the only mortgage people. And he's explaining a cap rate. And I'm like, oh, and I'm raising my hand like, okay, can you slow down again? Could you explain what a freaking cap rate is? I mean, dumb it down. And I don't know why, but I've been willing to be that kind of a student ever since high school. Like, maybe it's goody two shoes. I don't know. Like, I want to win. That's what I'm interested in. I want to win. I want to know. I want to like go get it on the things that I care about. On other things, I have complete chosen ignorance. Like, I watch the news and read the news zero. Like, literally, we were somewhere and somebody mentioned Jeffrey Epstein or something. And Galen's like, she's not going to know who that is. I'm like, I said, I barely know what that is, because maybe something came up on my Instagram about like, if something major happens, I'll find out. I don't need to read the news. So for, like when I was in calculus as a senior, I sat in the front row and I leaned in with my body physically, because I learned early, like, your physiology will also determine your ability to absorb, retain, and learn things. And so I learned something called SLANT, SLANT. And for any of us that are salespeople, we need this especially because our brains can start going other places and we're not into it. So what SLANT is first, sit up straight. Second, lean in. Third is give your attention, which means track the teacher. N is nod your head. And T, I think, is track. So A might just be attentive, right? So when I'm somewhere, as you know, I'm literally leaning in with my energy, because my physiology is saying, I'm into this. I'm smiling, I'm nodding, I'm tracking the teacher, and my whole being is here to like get something and learn. And so my calculus teacher used to tell me that she would look at my face, and my face was like all scrunched up and confused. She would stop the class because she could tell that I was interested and I'm here to learn, and I'm like an engaged student. And I would, the first minute I didn't get something, I'm looking weird, and then I'm throwing my hand in the air, like, stop, rewind, back it up. So, and I do that with people on the daily basis in my life. Gail and I have really good friends that are very, very successful in venture capital. And again, talking about investment and numbers things and finance that I probably should know, maybe, I don't know. And I'll be like, stop, rewind. What? Okay. Can you back it up? Can you explain that again? Because I'm interested to want to know that. But if we're talking about politics, I'll just glaze over. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not interested. So I'm not curious. I don't care.
So go to that next step, right? So I'm interested in whatever topic in mortgage that I think will be able to help me. Then 2 is I become curious. And 3 then is the most crucial part.
Yes.
Like that is the implement or the start of it. Like, how do I get to that spot where now, okay, I'm interested, I'm curious. Now I got to go do it. Like
it's action. So you have got to become an action taker. That has to be your brand. That has to be your identity. That has to be just your way of being in the world, because people of action make things happen in their life in any area. So that is what I don't think is taught very often, right? We are ingesting so much information, and in school it's like information you ingest, you learn it, what is that when you vomit it out? Like you put it out on paper and it's gone, right?
Yeah.
Like, why can't I think of the darn word? I'm losing it.
I mean, hell, in school, all I did was memorize.
Yeah, memorize it. Regurgitate it. Regurgitate it, forget it.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Yeah, but that's not teaching you action. And, there's no wrong action, because action is forward movement. And every action creates a reaction, creates information, creates a response. And that's the only way we learn, is we take an action and we're like, oop, that was a little too hard. That was a little too aggressive. That was a little whatever. It didn't quite come off properly. And we can rewind and redo, or we can take that learning to the next action. So when I say find someone who has what you want, then do what they do and you will get what they've got. So finding the person is like, what is it that you want? Is it the bank account balance? Is it the time freedom? Is it the level of peace and joy that they have? Is it the level of authenticity and freedom of speech and being? Is it the level of like love and nurturing they bring to another person? Like that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in how people tick and why they work and like living this extraordinary life. And I want it in all areas. I'm pretty greedy. I have a ton of desire, and I've always had that engine inside of me, right? Like I'm greedy. I want it all, baby. Like, and you and I are similar in that. Like, I want to feel zest. I want to feel alive. I want to, like, being average or boring or stale freaks me out. Like that is like, that would be like death to me. So I want to feel fully alive in my life. So I'm always in the world looking for people who have that. The people who have patience and contentedness, and who have, who are really playful, and who are, able to interact with children really well. Like that interests me. It doesn't mean like when I'm 35 and I'm trying to get rich that I was like, okay, I'm going to take massive action there. Now I'm at a different stage, and I'm like, I'm going to take massive action in being nurturing as a mom and figuring that out and studying it and geeking out on it and analyzing how did I do, trying things. Like this morning, I tried to kiss my daughters and they're all like, and I'm like, okay, kiss me right here by my cheek, because Gwen's like grossed out by eggs because she was allergic. And I'm like, no, but right here by my ear, you can kiss me. And I got a kiss out of her, and out of the older one, she's like, get out of my face, So anyway, find people who have what you want, do what they do, mimic their action in the world.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
You know, in Nashville, there was one special person that we both chased. Um, I chased him and I yearned for him to like me.
Oh,
Like I told him that one time, I go, you know, I fought hard for you to like me. And he's like, well, that's not true. I mean, he didn't totally feel that way, but for some stupid, weird ass feeling, I felt that way. And you know, uh I was thinking when you were talking about this, what did I chase the most about Josh? Um, and so I thought it'd be fun to be able to talk about that because I feel like at one point in time we kind of, you know, saw that and we're like, whoa, that's another level. Uh, so
well,
some
I
of the
want to
things
ask
that,
you first because yeah, we got to talk about Josh Sigmund. He was important in both
yeah,
of our lives. We still love the kid.
for
He's
sure,
amazing.
for sure. Oh my God,
Um, but I got to ask you, in high school,
yeah.
did you want to be liked, respected, or feared? And in what order?
Oh, why do we have to do this stuff? Liked first, right?
Yep.
Respected then feared, uh, unless I was mad.
Mm,
But I was the kid that hung out with every group.
yep.
Like I wasn't in just one group of kids. Like, you know, there were these preppy kids and the jocks and the burnouts they called them. I liked them all. And I liked different things about each group. And so I never really like I had my core set of friends, but I was friends in every group. And I think at the time, and even looking back today, I just got the post that said, "Should we have a 35th high school reunion?" I go, "I've never attended. It kind of would be fun to go." But so it's been a while since I've been there. But I'm like, I'm probably the most proud of that, of just being liked in those different groups, or being able to listen as each group had a different thought process.
So I think it's important for people to think through this for themselves.
Mhm.
Mine is to be respected. That's what I've
Okay.
wanted more than anything. Um, and we can always get out of balance with this, right?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, it's your superpower. So you know how to charm, you know how to woo, you know how to read people really well. And we just talked about this on my podcast. I cannot wait for that to come out because, by the way, I pulled so many tactics from you. They were so good.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so that's your special sauce is to be liked, right? And that's how you've gained the success, built the team, all the things. But then it can get out of whack when we're pursuing that above all else. Like, I just wish people would like me, and then we become more of a people pleaser and we lose ourselves. For me, as being respected, my MO, my way to be in the world was to impress people with
Mm.
my work ethic, with my achievement, with my, domination, not just getting like first place or not being top of the class, but like getting, 104%, because I'm doing all the extra credit, like
Overachieving.
overachieving. So why as you might get to people pleasing and lose yourself there, I get to exhaustion consistently because I'm going for extraordinary at all times so that nobody can, not respect my hustle, my effort, my hard work, whatever the case is. Feared, obviously, for the people who wanted to be feared, that can get out of whack too, right? And it
Right.
can get very lonely because there's this distance that's being created or this persona that has to be there that's always intimidating or whatever. But this is what our superpower is. It's also what makes us feel safe, right? So
Mm.
I remember as we were coming up together in the core, I was always trying to help you see how freaking amazing you were and like how much you're dominating. And I was like, screw people like you, Chris. Like, you're kicking their ass. Like, because I watched that relationship a lot with Rick, and I felt like you were giving your power away at times because
I think it was.
your power for yourself, your self image was whether or not somebody liked you. and you were judging that based off like maybe a look they gave you, or I don't know, right?
Something stupid.
It is stupid, but it's real. And I think it's just good to know that we can't throw our superpower in the trash, but we also can't let it drag us down, right? Like that our sense of self-worth and validation is coming from that. So interesting that you always wanted Josh to like you. I wanted Josh to respect me, but what I really wanted from Josh was, this is me now. I pursued him because I wanted his results.
Me too.
You too. Okay. So here's the results I wanted. He was earning 3 times the money that I was earning when I came into the program. And I was working the max number of hours. I was as efficient as I could possibly be, multitasking, usually had 2 phones to my ear at any given time. I mean, there was no screwing around. There was no water cooler talk. There was no lunches. I was eating like a frozen kashi meal in the microwave and probably making a phone call on the way to the microwave and back. Like, I mean, anybody who watched me at that time would be like, she is a machine, a robot. I didn't have a processor. I processed all my own loans. I didn't have an assistant. I was closing 20 deals a month in 15 different states and 3 different time zones working. I mean, I was a nut job.
I mean, didn't you take vacation one time and got on top of a roof or something to find?
Yeah, because it was 12 hours away. We went to Indonesia. We went to Bali. And this was during that period of time. This was pre-coaching. And I loved it because it was exactly 12 hours opposite. So right as, we're going to bed in Indonesia, I'd put Galen to bed, had a great day. And then I would climb up to the roof where I got internet signal. And then I'd work halfway through the night and keep the job going. So what fried me is that I had a strong sense of a belief in myself that I was capable, that I wanted it, that I had sales ability. I was charming. Like I had all the raw materials. I knew I had it. But yet, how is this kid tripling my income? Like what? He's not working 3 times as hard as me, and he's not like 3 times more talented. So like, what is the gap there? How do I need to retool? So that's what I wanted. I wanted to work the same, but triple my income, or find a way to do this better, with less stress or less hours. What did you want that you saw in him?
Well, I mean, he is the actor of action, for sure. But his coaching, his ability to identify his scripting, his mannerisms of how he controlled the room. Like, sure, I wanted Josh's success, income, and balance, and net worth, and all of those things that he had accomplished, for sure. But like, just studying him, I remember one time I called him and I said, hey, I want to really cast this bigger net, and I want to do this and I want to do that. And he goes, you can't. I go, what do you mean I can't? He goes, until you're really good in your own market, don't ever look at another market. Call me when you're great at your market.
Wow.
And I go, okay, thank you. And I hung up. And so then the action was, are we good in our market? Because like I was directed, until we're good at this market, I can't go to them. This is what I wanted, but I can't go because Josh said I have to be good at this market. And I go, I think I'm good at this market now. But if someone would have never been strong enough to challenge me to say, you can't until you're good in your own market, don't ever look at it. And he was setting up these juniors, and he was doing all these little satellites. And I was like so curious about how this was working, and how did it work, and how did you set it up? And he wouldn't even go there yet until I could say comfortably that I was really good at my own market.
So what you said is you liked the way he commanded a room, the way he was calm, cool, and collected in his approach. His scripting was just money dialed in. So I relate to that a lot, because when I met him, I was like frantic and working like a maniac. And you run into him and you're like, wow, this is what dialed in looks like.
Yeah, that's exactly what
And really standing in your authority, like knowing your craft, mastering your craft, and then being able to spot it in others to help them. Which obviously you and I have been on this pursuit for 15 years and are, ferociously engaged with helping people unlock and grow. And
We need
so
to create a classroom reunion for ourselves.
we should. We need our own class reunion.
I just came to that. It's like, what do you mean we should have our own classroom reunion? So, it's like skipping forward. You've been helping a lot of LOs. You got your coaching group, and I know that's a big passion for you. I really feel like out of all the coaching groups, you've taken a way different angle. I love your angle. I tease you about the angle every once in a while, but I love the angle. I feel like it's the things that I've realized the most out of the last 2 years. And I just want to talk about that because I feel like, how did you really get? I mean, I know how you got there to this angle because it was the game changer that changed a lot of things that we just got done talking about, which was these things, this being interested, being curious, and then creating action also was the things that drove us to, I wouldn't say insanity, but drove us to an insane amount of work being able to chase these things. And then there was a moment in time where you were like, wait, this should look differently. Like, when did that moment come? And then how did that inspire you to do this different coaching type of group that you have?
Well, first of all, I always want to create an environment where people can see it. So this is why I started the podcast. This is why you're doing probably what you're doing, is that every week I interview people on the Mortgage Rainmaker podcast who are achieving some level of success. And I'm trying to tease it out how they're doing it in their own unique style. Because I think the best thing that happened for me is I'm good at translation. And so are you. So I meet Josh. I start studying the hell out of this kid and going, okay,
Yeah.
exactly. When do you start?
We
When do
all
you stop?
studied you too. So just so you know, we studied you.
He studied me. Is that what you said?
No, we all studied you.
Oh, you studied me.
We all studied Shayla.
Well, probably after 2 years, like because my transformation was so rapid and undeniable, right? I mean, I went from 300 grand to 450 to 982 in 2 years. And I had a newborn baby. So, and I was stuck at 300,000 for a couple years. And that was like insane, right? The fact that I'm a dropout, I'm a blonde chick, and I live in Reno, Nevada, and I'm making 325 grand. Like that's epic in most anybody's book. Like that's success. And then I see something different, and I see a clear path, and I see a plan, and I say, okay, let me translate that now into my strengths and my unique ability and my unique voice and my market, and get those same results, but do it my way. Right. So I had to see big picture. And then I had to go execute and take massive action. Right. So I'm always trying to create environments where people can see it. Because again, if you don't see it and you don't believe it, you absolutely will not go achieve it. When I first got in the mortgage business, I met a woman who made 500 grand a year, and I was 23 years old. I didn't know women made $500,000 a year. This is before YouTube and Instagram and the whole thing. Like, to meet a real woman driving a minivan and wearing jeans and a leather jacket and having 4 children and being a mom and a career woman and making 500 grand. I didn't know that was a thing. Right. So this is how I do it. I do that through the podcast. I do it through any events that I'm putting on. I'm going to be doing private events in Reno, probably similar to what you're doing for the playbook, called the Rainmaker Way events. And they're going to be small boardroom coaching clinics for the day, because my goal is, after doing this for 25 years and, succeeding as a single LO, then a small team, then a bigger team, then growing LOs and becoming a coach and becoming a branch manager and a district manager and a national coach and blah, 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 like the whole career path is teaching the skills that you master along that path. Because like I said, in Nashville, I do believe this gets easier. And I do believe that you will earn and enjoy and experience more freedom. And to me, that's the whole point. Why become obsessed? Why lean in? Why be a forever lifelong student if the end of the rainbow for me isn't more freedom? Because that's what turns me on. And maybe for other people, it's something different, but that's kind of what I speak. So that's the first thing, is to see what's possible. Then second is like to have the plan. And so I do quarterly calls to give the plan. Like in December, I do my best year ever. And it's my plan for how you execute a badass life in every area of your life. And it comes with planning and alignment with your spouse and a lot of cool little tools and hacks that I've learned to figure out how to really maximize, to do it all. In June, on June 10th, I'm doing, I should call these master classes. I call it sales mastery usually, but this is about how to sell yourself and organize yourself for success. Wow. Because the difference between me making 300 grand a year to then going to 450 and 900, 980 was just small tweaks. What questions am I asking? What am I saying? What's getting people to go, I need her. I'm choosing her. I'm jumping on her bandwagon. And that's teammates, that's, realtor partners, that's builder partners. It's small tweaks. And, some people call it value proposition language. It's storytelling. It's being clear about who you are and what you're up to. So I'm going to teach that. And then if we all get 24 hours a day, it's the great equalizer. What gets priority with your time? How do you manage your time? And then how do you keep running a business that's multifaceted, meaning that you're getting leads and referrals from multi-channel? And how do you make your time work so that you keep the focus on all the things that you need to focus on? So see it, get the plan. And then in Catalyst, I really help action. But the difference between Catalyst and where the core is, or, other programs that are just different, is that I'm bringing in the holistic look on life to say, okay, how do you keep remaining authentic to you? How do you really tap into your own true desire and really know what it is that you want? Not living somebody else's plan for you or what society thinks you should do or whatever, but in this season, in this moment, in this quarter, what is it that you really, really, really want? So I'm good at extracting vision from people, because that's when we become most alive, is when we get clarity of vision. This is who I am. This is the mission I'm on. This is what I'm excited about. This is what I'm creating. And there's been many moments, as you know, Chris, where I've been lost, where I'm in mega self-protection mode. I moved 6,000 miles away to live in Europe for a couple of years. So I needed to detox from the rat race, from constant pressure, from constant competition, from the ranking charts, from all that BS. Yeah. So in Catalyst, I don't rank speakers. I just don't do any of the stuff that's very pressure oriented and performative oriented. I'm really constantly saying, who are you? What do you want? And through self-reflective practices, through, simple plans, like knowing what your goals are, I think I do a really good job of keeping people connected to themselves and then taking action. Because if you're taking action blindly, or usually out of chaos or out of insecurity of I'm falling behind, or I got to keep up, or it's like frantic action. You end up going somewhere you didn't even want to go. You know what I mean? Or you have success in these bursts that's not duplicatable or replicatable, and it still feels insecure. And then you go from moments of frozen to freak out to burnout, and it just feels like a mess. So that's what I think is different.
I was talking about you the other day, and someone said to me, well, Chris, you got to find your superpower. And I go, oh, I couldn't tell you what my superpower is. So he kept asking me this is Roland. Roland's asking me what my superpower is. And I go, Roland, I don't know what my superpower is. My superpower is I get shit done.
Yep.
That's my superpower. He goes, well, like Shayla, she found her superpower and she could move mountains.
What did you
And
say my superpower is?
this right here. This is right. What is exactly what you're talking about is your superpower. And I go, I know. She knows what her superpower is. She like went 100% in. She read every book. She talked to every single person. She like ran to it and found it. And she is the master of being able to look at this differently. I don't know what that is in me. I don't know if I'm too old and I'm cooked or what. And I think it's just an amazing compliment to you that Roland's like, she found this superpower thing, and that superpower deal, you could go help hundreds and thousands of people because you found your superpower. Now, did I make you feel weird or what? Because the facial expressions are like, what are you talking about, Chris?
I know. Anybody watching this live is like, are you insane? Okay, this is where it's like, what is your purpose in life? You know, it's like those moments where you're like, I don't know. And am I really stupid that I don't know? You know what I mean? Like,
I do feel stupid that I don't know, but I'm like, maybe I don't care.
Exactly.
Just go be
Here,
you.
okay, but here's what I have to say to you. And this is what I love being in community and why we do need each other, because all of us that are driven and have desire, whatever, we get to these moments of like, what am I doing? Am I even good at this? Like, it's so weird. I was literally at President's Club with one of my girls on my team. And just so you know, as a leader, like it is the coolest moment ever to bring people to President's Club, right? To like help them achieve that. And not that I'm helping much, but like, you know, to have my squad growing. This year I had 17 on my squad make it to President's Club. So we have like a posse, man, and it's so fun. And I'm in the pool with Danielle, and she's like, I mean, I don't even know what I'm good at. And I'm like, okay, stop. Like, yeah, there's probably 3,000 loan officers in this organization. There's probably 175 people that have earned this level of success that like, what are you talking about? Like, okay, what you're noticing is the small tweak that you need to make to get to the next level, not like burn it all down, go hire some third party coach for $3,000 a month that's going to like bring you webinar leads or something. Like that's what she was considering. I was like, whoa. So what I have to say about you, Chris, is that you're have and always been pure energy. Your creativity is insane. You are constantly thinking of ways to maximize and optimize and move people. And you're like the raise the temperature guy. Like every week, you coming up with a theme for your entire team that's motivational and inspirational and aligns everybody. Hello, most people couldn't be like, how am I going to rally the hundreds of people that work for me and come up with a theme? And you do that. You're on stages and running around this country, bringing energy, bringing hope. And you have a goal to do 10 billion a year in Windsor. Like, are you insane? You don't know what your superpower is. You're a grower and you're a leader of people, and you are somebody that naturally raises energy for people. I mean, just look the way you got on this show. It's like, hey, like nobody's going to spend time with Chris and be like, oh, he's putting me to sleep. This is boring. So, and yes, you're likable, but why are you likable? Because you genuinely want to leave people in a better state than when you found them. And I know that to be true everywhere you go. If you go through the Starbucks line or if you're at the golf course, like you're genuinely caring about people and wanting to like give them a little boost because you just drop some energy on them. Am I right?
You're right. You're right. Now, this ain't about me. This is about you. Damn it. So go back to June 10th. Go back to June 10th. So
Okay.
you're doing a sales mastery, right?
Yes.
And we talked about what you could get, but we didn't talk about like what's the format? Is this Zoom? Is this in person?
No, it's a free Zoom meeting.
It's free.
It's free.
And I'm going to post in chat. I'm going to post the link. If you're listening to like Spotify or to Apple and you can't like it's audio because we have a lot of audio listeners, I'm going to make sure that you easily can be able to grab that, and we'll have that all posted up there for you. There it went. So we'll make sure that we continue to post so you can get into that piece. It's July 10th and it's noon Pacific, correct?
Yeah. You can just go to my website, shaylagifford.com,
Easier.
and there'll be a pop-up, or you can go to my Instagram at shaygif, and there'll be a link there. So yeah, I mean, get into our world, because I'm hoping that I can help you see it, believe it, and achieve it, by getting you attached to what you really want in this season. Because what I want today at 45 is very different than what I wanted at 35. In fact, I was just filming with some of my team, and one of my girls, it was the first time ever she'd been on video. And I was like, trust me, it gets more comfortable. I started in 2008, because an attorney asked me to get on camera and help him with his business or something. It was like, okay. And I started going back on my YouTube channel to see like some old videos to like send them to her. Like, look, I mean, like, look where I've come. I found a video, Chris, on my YouTube channel that said a day in the life with Shayla. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm just sitting at my desk, and my girl, marketing girl at the time, Kaylin, was just asking me questions. I was 35 years old. It was 10 years ago. And I'm talking about the things I care about, and that I'm coaching a bunch of people, and I'm coaching realtors. And then I get to the part of talking about my children, and I get choked up, and I literally, you can see this moment in time, like this shame and guilt that I'm carrying. And it's like makes me want to cry right now. But it was like, oh my gosh, like this is where I was 10 years ago. 10 years later, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of killing it. I've figured it out. But I spent the last like 4 or 5 or 6 years like really digging in, going, all right, how do I figure out these two daughters of mine? I've got teenagers, like it's a full body engagement. And how do I heal from, whatever guilt I've had or whatever? And so like my pulse checks, like what I write in Catalyst, because I follow the exact same plan as everybody else. And while I have
Okay.
one student here that's like, I need to get to 25 leads a month, I need 10 more referral partners, and I got to get to the point where I can hire an assistant. That's where they're at. And I'm like, girl, I was there. I know exactly
Yeah.
where you are. Like, it feels like yesterday. I was 28 years old. I was studying Josh and going, oh my gosh, how do I trust someone? How do I hire? How do I delegate? Where do I find them? What do I do? And then here I am over here going, I want to be more playful, and I want to spend more time with friends. Like, and I'm working on my 30-year wealth plan, but it's like level 10 on the list. So I hope that I've built a framework where people who want to do real work on themselves and live a life that they're truly in love with, and still want to achieve and kick ass and produce and be productive, but also like, embody more of a life, and I hate to use the word balance, but be on fire in all areas. They have a framework from me where they can learn to start self-assessing and start recalibrating and find that part of themselves that's constantly critical and constantly taking us to performance and exhaustion and people pleasing, and go, wait a minute, that's not in alignment with what I really, 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 really want. I'm going to shut that down, and I'm going to, recalibrate and get back on it again tomorrow. And so that's the change that I'm hoping to make in the world, is that somebody could use my frameworks, whether they're 28 or 38 or 58. That I've got a lot of guys in the program that are probably 55 to 65 and are like, you know what? I know I got more in me, and I don't want to just be stagnant and stale the remainder of my career. Like, I want to really get going. And they look
Those are
at
my
me as,
favorite guys, by the way.
oh, I love it. I think I am a catalyst. I think there's a moment where you wake up, and then there's a moment where you got to grow up. And the wake up moments oftentimes happen one-on-one in a room, in a training, or seeing something really inspirational. And it's like, wake up, like, okay, now I'm done. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of being chaotic. I'm making a change. I'm determined. Let's go. And then the grow up part is now the work. It's now the action. Yeah. It's now the daily self-reflection. It's the daily accountability on hitting your metrics, filling out the sales attack tracker, like doing the work. But if you haven't had a wake up moment, if somebody hasn't shaken you and said, whoa, what are you doing? You keep
Yeah.
complaining, you keep roller coastering, you keep bonking out. Like, what is it that you really want? Define it, tell me, and then helps you kind of stay on the rails of taking action in that direction. Whew, it's hard without that support.
It is. It is. So make sure if you haven't been able to connect, I know Stephanie, I got a lot of fans inside our organization that just loves her Rainmaker podcast. So make sure you join that Rainmaker podcast. Oh, by the way, I had seen some really cool photos and I smiled. And these photos were pictures of you creating a garden with both girls. Galen's down on his knees planting. Maybe it was your mother or someone out there also helping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that looked like everything that you had been working on all into one picture.
Precisely. Yeah, because first of all, I'm really realistic about seasons of life. Like, we didn't get a dog until Gemma was 10 and Gwen was 7. And it was like, whoa, there's only so many things I've got capacity for, right? Like, literally, I'm trying to get rich. I'm trying to build a house. I'm trying to make family. Galen's got a business. Like, there's only so much we got here. So a dog, I want one. We love dogs. Later. Okay. Now that we have a dog, we're like, oh my gosh, how did we live without a dog? But we just knew that the dog's quality of life at that stage of the game probably wouldn't have been that great, right? A garden, I've always wanted a garden. In fact, one of the reasons I've wanted to make good money was so that I could buy the healthiest food and never think about it. Gemma and I went to the health food store in Tahoe on Sunday, and they have so many little like goodies and everything's organic and everything's like so good. I'm like, we went in for like literally lunch and I got a huge basket full of stuff. And then of course I have a grain-free cookie that's gluten-free, and I never eat cookies. And I'm like, yes, I'm eating this cookie. And I walk out with like $230 worth of groceries. And I said, Gemma, this is exactly why I wanted to be successful. I've wanted to have the freedom to go into a health food store and just put whatever I want in the basket on a random day and not freak out about it, not like go on my credit card with it. So the garden is something I've always wanted. And
it looks massive.
Well, we have 4 boxes and then we put some on the ground.
Okay.
And and of course I'm going in June. I'm going for the whole month. I'm going to be in Europe for the whole month of June. So it's like, is this the right summer to do it? But our in-laws live next door. We built a house next to our in-laws. That was kind of a goal to have like a family compound, which has had its pros and cons to live next door to my mother-in-law and father-in-law for the years. But mostly awesome. And then my mom lives a mile or two down the road. So my mom is going to take care of it in June while we're gone. My father-in-law is also a landscape contractor and he cares for our property. And so he built the boxes. So it's not like Shayla put the boxes together. I've got so much support. But again, I think, you get good at things and you get the ability to have money freedom and relational freedom. You get support in your life. I think the thing that I would hope to impress upon people is to go all in. Like, if you really went all in on this career for 10 years, and yes, you come to Catalyst and you work on understanding the other parts of your lives and you work on getting as much balance as you can, so you don't completely blow out your body or completely blow out your family or completely blow out your spirituality. Like you hold it together because you're focused on it and you recalibrate and but you go all in on getting good at this, on building a team, on building systems, on becoming a leader, on, working on your mindset, like the whole Rainmaker way. Like, you will create more freedom than you could ever imagine, more options, more opportunities, more ability to be generous. Like, this industry does that. And I think that's why you and I are still so enamored, Chris, is it's like, come on. Let's go. Let's go. I went on a walk with a new loan officer yesterday. She was in my Catalyst program, came to Reno and said, I'm going to be in Reno. I'm like, well, let's go for a walk. She made 200 grand her first 12 months. First 12 months. She doesn't have a college degree. Previous to that, she was in landscape services. And previous to that, she worked at a car dealership. She's got a really unique story with rough patches in her life. Got in this industry with ADHD and an open heart, loving people, closed 42 deals her first year and made 200 grand. Like, come on. And she's already closed 27 deals in the first quarter. That's 9 a month. She's on track to do 100 deals this year. And so the people who've been around too long forget how good this industry is, like what it's really empowered us to do. And I don't know. I think if you look behind the scenes of what you and I did and the grind that we did, and even the grind that we do today, some people will be like, I don't want to do the grind. But then, you don't get the freedom either. So find someone who has what you want and then do what they do. And a lot of people might not want what you and I are doing.
Hey guys, look, get connected with Shayla. Get on that June 10th, 12 noon Pacific. You can go to Shay Giff. You can get connected on her website. I'm going to tell you something. She will change your life. She changed mine for sure. Windsor wouldn't even be a thing because that all got created under Shay coaching me at that time. She is one of the best. And if you need to borrow a couple beliefs, she'd be a great one to borrow from. Shay, thanks for being on Coaching with Chris today. I truly appreciate you.
Thank you. Hope to see you on June 10th. Thank you, Chris.
Yep. See ya.